Hey everybody, this is Nick and welcome to the AIQ system. Today I'm going to show you how to get into the platform and generate an ROI in under 10 minutes. So I'm not going to be covering advanced integrations, stuff you can find in support docs, things of that nature. This is simply to get going as quickly as possible and start return on investment. So I'm in the platform right now. I'm going to go immediately to the settings panel on the bottom left after you accept your invite. And I'm going to go add team members. So here you can add team members. You can say add user, simply add their email, select their role. You can also click this link to see what roles people are going to get, what kind of settings and permissions. Um, and that's it. Then I'm going to go to retail stores if you do have any storefronts or inventory locations. I'm going to add a store, and it's simple. You just put in the store name, phone number, shop page URLs. If you're using a third-party e-commerce system, you want to put those shop pages for specific storefronts in there if you'd like. And then there's some advanced settings. But typically, it's just kind of the first three tabs, and you add a store, and you're done. Next up, I'm going to go to probably the most important step, which is transitioning contacts from another platform or a flat file or something so that you can market to them. You can analyze that user base based on their transactions or anything like that. So under settings, I can go to import personas. I can also go to marketing and, customers, and then I can add a new persona. Okay, but for now, I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to go to import personas. And then you can see there's a sample file up here. You can download that to look. You can also view an import guide. It's pretty simple though. This is the sample file, and the only thing I changed in this sample file is I added a targetable trait here. So this, I'm imagining, could be like, how much have they spent on t-shirts at my company? How much did they donate to my my cause? What's their AOV? You can really make any custom attribute. You can see there's another one over here called custom attribute that's tagged as this is an employee as an example. Or you could do VIP or something like that. And you're going to use that to target later on. So I'm going to upload a contact list. This is just samples. I'm going to go drag and drop my file that you saw a second ago, my CSV, and then I'm going to click next. You can see next step is to map the file. So we already know some of these columns. We're guessing, okay, points for loyalty is points. Custom attribute is a custom attribute. But you can see my targetable trait column that I have that's custom to my file is not getting picked up. So we know that's a custom attribute, so I'm going to click on that. And then cell phone is right here. I'm going to click on that. And then opt-in to SMS. We want to make sure those are mapped, right? Because the biggest pickle you can get yourself into here is you don't want to have opt-out statuses that aren't real. So when you're adding or transferring customers from another platform, you want to make sure you stop messaging on that platform, download a file of all the users and their opt-in, opt-out statuses, and then upload it immediately into your AIQ account. That way, if someone texts back stop or opts out of an email in the time that you did the transfer, they'll get into AIQ and we'll know that they opted out. Otherwise, if you wait too long or you're sending messages and you download a file and then you keep sending messages on the old platform, some people from that bucket will opt out and you won't be able to understand whether they're opted in or opted out. And that can get you in a mess with TCPA and some of the telecom laws across the country and different privacy acts, right? So you want to make sure that's good. You can also ignore columns. You can see me checking off ones that I just don't care about in this file, which you might have. And then I'm allowed to hit next. You can name the import, which I highly recommend, being very descriptive. And you also have some extra settings here to, override opt-in statuses if you wish and you know what's in that file. And then you hit submit. And that's it. Your file is going to appear down here in this table, and you'll see processed column. It'll either be processed or basically pending. And as soon as that's processed, you can target users out of it. The other step that we need to take is any integrations that you have, because integrations are really powerful to ingest new contacts, constantly sync new contacts and transactions, which gives you all the behavioral based automation, right? If we know they just purchased a t-shirt yesterday, or they have they're a top 20% spender with my brand, you can do different behavioral based automations with marketing and analysis, really, to understand them better, to push out the right marketing messages to them at the right time, that kind of thing. So it's pretty simple. You're just going to select an integration, and you can see almost all the integrations are going to have a support walkthrough guide on how to do their setup, because everybody's different. But it's pretty typical. It's usually like a username, a key, an API secret, some kind of API key that you're going to get from them, and then you're just going to add those credentials. There's a couple other settings on here, but we won't go into those right now. But you can look through it in the guide on what some of these things do. You're going to add your credentials, and you're going to update the connection, and it'll start syncing. And you can see we have quite a few loved apps across the world, and you can find pretty much anything you want in here. So you're just going to want to connect those things up, add your keys, and start importing all of your contacts on top of your flat files and stuff like that. You can, of course, go through other settings in the platform over here, but I'm not going to cover those just yet. This is kind of the basics here. So the next step is going to go marketing, and then, or actually let's go customers, and then you can go audiences. And these are going to be all the things you might want to target. So we'll create an audience really quick. Purchased in the last 30 days. And then I'm going to not use the drop downs, but you can get custom with that. Instead, I'm just going to type in what I want. Target customers that purchased in the last 30 days and are over 25 years old, and are top 20% spenders. Boom. I'm going to generate that, and you can see it did all of my columns for me. It found all the traits and made that good. So I'm going to create that audience, and then I'm going to go marketing and create a new campaign. You can see I have some that are post-order campaigns to rate their experience. I have abandoned cart campaigns, which would require you to set up an e-commerce connection, either with our e-commerce at AIQ or through a third party, and that will trigger upon their settings, and you can read their guides when they consider an abandoned cart. So really cool. So I'm going to just jump right in and create our first campaign. So I have all the messaging channels unlocked. I'm just going to create a text for you guys with separate campaigns. There's no waterfall on this one. So it's pretty simple. My campaign name, test. I can tag it. I can select from a pre-baked setting, but for now I'm just going to do normal. Here's my audiences. So I'm going to do all subscribed users, but you can search for the audience we just created too. You can exclude people from certain audiences from receiving this, even if they're in the targeted one. You can filter by storefront if you have storefronts. And then I'm going to click continue. And you can see a bunch of options here. So we have a regular SMS, MMS, text with a landing page. So that's like just a notice message like, hey, we have an update to your member account. Click here for that. Or like you've seen shipping notices like that. That's what that does, except for we let you generate a landing page with a bunch of templates right off the bat. And so you can get as long as you want in there without having progressive texting fees from having the length of it increased by a lot, right? And you can do custom HTML. And all the targeting and tracking is built into that. And then of course, you have MMS image only. So if you just want to send an image with reply stop to opt out and nothing else, you can do that. For now, I'm going to do a regular SMS MMS. This is my message for checking it out. And you can see as I write that, it updates over here. You can see I can make it longer, and it'll tell me, hey, this is going to cost 2x the normal campaign because it's 2 segments, and in telecom world, you're charged per segment. So anyways, I'll take that out for a second. But that's my message. I can add emojis, and back where we uploaded files, this is where you can do your crazy custom attributes. So your custom attributes would actually appear in this list, and you can copy this macro here for the custom attribute and plop it into your message, and for each user, that'll be personalized to their attribute, right? That they spent $23, it'd say, hey, Nick, thanks for spending $23. while somebody else will get a completely different text. So really cool on that. You can attach discounts and surveys and custom MMS media on top of what you've written, and then you just continue to the review stage. In here, you can see I've got a text channel. I'm targeting this audience. My text content is here. I can click it to edit that template, and my tracking is automatically set up. Of course, we can't track whether they purchased on a point of sale unless you have the integration live, but let's assume that you do. You can change your attribution window here. If it's a 1-day promo, you can change it to 1. You can change what engagements count as a conversion, so you can narrow it down, less fluffy stats, more deterministic stats, really nice. And then after that, you just schedule it. So do you want to send it right now in a blast to everybody in the audience? Then you just click now, hit OK. Oh, whoops. Hit OK. And it'll send right then to everybody in the audience. Ongoing campaigns go from a start to an end time, which could be years. And as long as a user plops into that audience, then they'll get the message when they jump into it. So those are kind of triggered when you get into an audience. Start and end is very similar to ongoing, but it has a start and end date. Like maybe you want to do a Christmas promo for 2 weeks. And then there's a forecast at the bottom, depending on your setup and your message. How much is it going to likely be costing you? And then you just hit save, right? Save and set live. And it'll just follow the schedule in your settings and you're good to go. The next thing you want to do is maybe check out campaign reports. So you're going to go click on campaign reports and it'll break out everything that we just looked through.